Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it. Monkey Man is such an awesome movie, so I wanted to get started by asking you, like, if you can just like briefly describe your responsibilities first.
Uh, as a production designer, mainly I'm taking care of like how the film should be look, like mood and tone, uh, stuff like that, design concept, and once into the pre-production state, we kind of like prep for the like searching for the location, designing the set, thing like that, Uh, as you know, we're not shooting in India, so basically we have to figure it out like where to shoot, to create the world, like uh yeah, thing like that.
Hmm. Awesome. Yeah, and so since you are not shooting in India, and then you're shooting in when you chose to shoot in Indonesia, what were the sort of conversations with Dave about making the locations in Indonesia look as authentic as possible to India?
At the beginning it was because like I think Dave and the team have prepped in Mumbai before the pandemic, and uh, and they decide to leave, to find some place to shoot, and that's how they came to Batam. Um, I I I think in terms of the geography, like we are in the Southeast Asia, like like how the land, the tree should look not so much different, but basically this is not India,
Mm,
so we have to concern about like for example the village, like like when in the childhood of kid we can find the land, but basically it's no such a village like that, so
mm,
we know that we have to build the village, you know. As for the modern building, like restaurant scene you see in that one, we shot in the location.
mm,
Of course, you can find that kind of stuff in everywhere of the world, right? We find the place that permit to shoot. And of course, they have to be really permit to shoot because we kind of break everything away, but that's a location shoot. So at the beginning, it was something like that to kind of like go for whatever need to build. We need to build in the sound stage. In Batam at Infinite Studio, we have the back lot. So the main task is turn that back lot town to look like India. Like when you can shoot on the
yeah,
street for the festival. And of course, as the movie, they can extend that in the visual effect part. Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, no, it came out. I mean, it's such awesome. So, like, when the movie's very dark, it has a very intense, gritty feel. When you're talking to Dave about what he was looking for, um, what kind of challenges does it just present? Like, not just shooting in the dark, but shooting in this particular where like you're using a lot of different colored, like it's very colorful, but it's like it's just like a dark aesthetic. It's like a dark red. It's like a dark yellows in the
Yeah,
fighting
we
scene.
we we're not like I think I mentioned that before, right? Like when
Mm,
we start to prep, and then Dave came up with the idea of like, why don't we thinking about this is not Mumbai, right? This is the dark side of Mumbai. Like thinking about like Gotham City, that's represent the dark side of New York. So
mm,
we should think about creating the look of the film to be like that. So that's how he came up with the idea of we call this town Yatana, which is a fiction name, and we kind of create that the city to look like 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 that kind of dark, like going to the like something that being controlled by the tyrant, the corrupt people, like as term of the lighting design, of course, this is we discuss with Sharon, like we working on the kind of like how the film should be look, and of course that is mainly from his part to working with a gaffer, but But as for the beginning, I have present Dev the idea of uh, how kid entering to the King Cup and growing up, right? Kind of growing up like step by step, like he tried to be in that empire, that building, and have to work at the low bottom, and he find himself to kind of step up. Otherwise, he cannot complete a mission to kind of revenge that guy, right? So he had to kind of go step by step. So I present him the idea of like using the elevator from one floor to one floor and changing the design. And as for we changing the design of each one, we kind of thinking about each floor should be different, like one by one until the top floor where he find that you see the room that has the big mural painting of Hanuman on the top. That was at the beginning as a concept design that we know that we have to build the King Cup because we cannot shoot on that such a thing in Batam. We know that we have to do a lot of action sequence. So in movie we know from the beginning that this is a set design, and we do one by one like that. And the audience feel linking because of how he transport himself through that elevator.
Yeah, absolutely. It has a very video gamey feel. It has a very, I mean, it reminded me a lot of John Wick, obviously, and then like the Raid movies. And so, was that like, were you looking at when you came up with that kind, were you kind of thinking of like it felt almost video gamey, or was that just like a natural progression to keep the film looking interesting and these kind of different, as kid advances through the different floors to like, because the first time he goes through, then he has to do an escape plan, but the second time he goes to the final boss and, so succeeds in his mission. So where were you kind of drawing inspiration from? Were these films, or was it something that you just felt like would be more effective with the script?
I think I kind of follow the script itself. I haven't thinking about anything else besides how the story tell in each part, you know. Um, that so that how I work, you know.
Awesome. And so like then you also have when you're shooting scenes that like when you're the scenes with his mom where they have this very like peaceful like 'cause it's kind of his memory, so it's like a more serene kind of feel versus like when like what's happening in reality is a lot more brutal. So what were kind of things that you were trying to do to make sure they were like they felt different enough but also connected?
It it feel different. You can feel the contrast of his life, before everything collapsed. When that guy came to the village and burned everything down. So this is a time when they live peacefully, and in the way when you look at in the whole total of the frame, you can see that that part is more bright. So we got the contrast qualification into the film. We got more sunlight basically that you haven't seen that much in another part of the film. And as a matter of fact, that how it is, that how kid life, like,
Yeah, yeah.
went down, and he had to fight back.
Yeah, absolutely. And then was there out of all the different unique sets that you create from the was there one that you found more challenging to was it the one of the ones that you had to create, or was it one of the ones that were on location just like seeing what you got and then trying to make it work, or was it something where you had to create like the levels?
The there are two sample that two places I want to mention. The restaurant, the bar, the fighting sequence. I think it by the end, right? That one is one of the most expensive set to build because we built 360-degree, all everything, and then have a different step. You have the elevator that coming to the restaurant. That one take most of the time to build up, and we shooting kind of last. Uh, yeah, that one is the most effort thing, and everyone happy about that because they can do such everything inside. You can break everything. You can, break the wall, put the camera, stuff like that. So it's a pure set designing for the film that worth spending budget for. But on my part, I like the idea of adapting the location to be the scene, to be the scenery. Uh, One that's most concerned when I'm starting is a Hindu temple, which is, as we know, this is no such a thing in Indonesia. They're not Hindu country. And we know that we have to creating that. But to creating the whole thing, from scratch, that will be more impossible to do, budget wise, timing wise, everything. So have to be clever enough, to adapt any part. Like we're not building from zero. We've at the end we found the abandoned kind of concrete building that already existing in the island. The good thing about that place is that has overgrown, and has a big tree that coming inside, and I believe in that space, and I believe that we can turn and we can do by our technique, to recreate, to break some part, adding some part, coloring and adding Indian texture, Indian pattern into that space. And finally, what you see in the film, that was creating from abandoned places, and we in the whole movie we did from two places, not only one. I think the prayer room, that one we doing on another building. The one that kid rehearse boxing with the drum, that one is one places. Uh, Dave came to that set on the first day of the shoot. He loved that so much, and that is a good starting for him and for us to prep so many months. And then the director came to the set, and he was so happy about what we creating for him.
That's some, yeah, no, that's such, and I mean, such beautiful sets. And then you have, since you are, the story's inspired by Hanuman, and then you're also, were you drawing much inspiration from like Hindu sort of mythology with like, I mean, when are you looking at the Ramayana and like drawings of Hanuman and Ram and Ravan, obviously with some of the stuff that themes that we see in the movie. Are you drawing inspiration from that to kind of just incorporate them throughout your images, or is it more just like you're looking at it and kind of trying to see
I,
how where it might fit in?
Especially for Hanuman topic, it's already there, like Dev know that mythology very well. Like it one of his inspiration of this film. So, and we all know we are Asian, Indian culture, Indian mythology is, blending with Thai culture for a long, long time. So it's nothing strange for me. I'm familiar with the Ramayana, the Hanuman. But when I execute, everything the designing for this film, I basically ask Yasmin. She's a set decorator from India. She's very helpful, great input. We leave her to kind of coming up with like, we got Hanuman, you in your version it should different from my version,
Mm.
right? And Indonesia people, they know Ramayana too, like or Indonesia crew, but they had a different kind of reference interpret that methodology. So we use like the real Indian version to start things. Uh, so we have to create like the comic book, right? The graphic novel book. We have to creating the moral painting. Uh, Basically, we use Indian, uh, let's say Indian version, which is original. Ramayana is from India.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm more into the execution for depth on that part.
No, yeah, it came out beautifully. And then you're working with Dave very closely, and then I mean, this is his first movie as a director. So what was it like working alongside him as he's going on this like first time directing, and learning from you, obviously, and then also trying to figure things out on the fly because you're shooting this through the pandemic. It's getting postponed. There's so many like different variables. So what was it like working with him and the conversations you guys are having to like make this movie come to life?
Yeah, yeah. Surprisingly, I know that it's his first direct film, but I think his knowledge about like making the film is much more than what I have imagined, right? Of course, I have long experience in like film production. I'm in this business for a long time, but I'm very grateful, to grateful that I can use my experience to supporting his vision. I think he wrote the script. He's seen his movie in his head, but how we can make it up, that one, I think I can help him on that part a lot. And of course, it's not so much easy because everything been locked down. We have to
Mm-hmm.
be clever enough to say like, we cannot fix the how we want to do. We have to be able to kind of, okay, if we cannot do this, how about this, and make use of whatever we have. And actually, this is my never happened before as a filmmaker. You never been in this situation when you cannot go anywhere much. You have to stick with people, a group of people who stay in the same bubble. Testing every week, testing, and uh, as per the protocol. Um, it's a very unique experience, like once in your lifetime. It's like you going to the Boy Scout camp, like be together, stay together, and that's a good thing because Deb will be very busy once everyone start to coming, and he has to preparing for the shoot. He had to practice himself, to be fit for the roles. Discuss with every department, do rehearse with a stunt choreographer. There are such a lot of things going on, even like we have not we have a proper prep time, of course, but to be together in the same island, in the same resort, we stay in the same resort, in the kind of big village that stay together. It's very easy to kind of, hey Dave, can you meet me at 2 p.m., 3 p.m.? No, I can meet you at 4 p.m., something like that. So basically, we can do so much of the thing because we not stay apart. We stay in the same village. Uh, Never happened before, and that we turn we turn that to be our benefit. Like we can work much more hour. We can work much more closer. Yeah.
Awesome. And since like you are working through this like these like you said one time experience where it's like through this pandemic, was there much from the script that was being changed on shooting? Like were you was the what we saw in the movie, was that pretty much what the script always was, or was there like sequences you had to take out and streamline, or was there something you added later on, or
It's not pretty close because of course the draft that we read before the prep it's been changing along the prep time because of like we have to adjust whatever is possible to shoot, but but I think we're getting close on what we want, what they've want and everything. We complete in that kind of shooting schedule. We not blow apart. Uh, Kind of successful in a way. They had something that they have to wait until pandemic calm down to shoot the B camera on the real town, stuff like that. We should not. I'm not in that one. I'm already done with the A camera and done. Um, Everything was been going well beside his injury that had to be swapped something, and if you heard about that, but very impressed on how we stick together as kind of we mold everyone into one team. and my yeah, like my part, I work with several artists from several countries in Southeast Asia. We mold everyone into one team, and I think we successful. We complete all the mission, the film, everything we shooting on time, on what they want to do. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you made an awesome movie. And then so like you do have all this like in the third act, you have a lot of you're shooting in a lot of red light, you're doing a lot of stuff with in dark corridors, and then you have that big fight with all Alpha and her team come and then with Dave. So what is there any like sort of tricks that you're using to get that room well lit enough to make that red light pop so you can see their face expressions and all the action, or is that something? Are you using? I know you use some sort of you can lower the exposure and kind of fix it in post, or are you doing something? Are you doing some of that, or are you doing something different, or how's that work with all the different, especially with the red light?
I think this is actually give credit to Sharon, our DOP. He's a master of like the light,
Mm.
the way he designing. I was so impressed too. Like of course, this is space that I was designing and I have creating for the shoot. But once he start to put life inside, like how he lit with his own lighting come through, and all the practical like that shining in the film is what we have been discussed before. So we kind of sort out like where to hiding the light, where to place that we want to see the both or we will not want to see the both. For example, like the toilet thing that it look natural, right? But that is what very cooperative between me and Sharon. uh he want to create more like a strip of light on the top, thing like that, so have to modify the set, cutting the piece, and our team have to prep for the LED stripe onto that. So everything is has been uh, co- uh collaborate between the camera department, lighting department, and art department. So that's why I think it turned out into the way that it looked neat, and and it look I think it look beautiful. Yeah, as I can see that from the monitor. Like,
Yeah, yeah. No, it really does. And I don't want to keep you too long. So I just want to, where I know Dave has, since on the press tour, he's talked about, especially after the response, possibly doing a follow-up, a sequel, maybe. Did you guys have any conversations about that when you were shooting, making Monkey Man, or is that something that you're hoping to discuss later down the line, or do you have any idea where, if he would want to do a follow-up to this movie?
uh, I I think I know that he was uh maybe has the idea of the Monkey Man in sequel. I mean, like the journey of this character have to be going on. I know about that, but uh, as a matter of fact, that is what is kind of like thing that they want to see how the first film turn out. Like the how how it perform into the global market, thing like that, I believe. But I heard that they had thinking about the sequel of Bucky Man. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, Pawas. I really appreciate it. This
All
has
right.
been great. Great, great. So great to meet. But yeah, thank you so
All
much.
right. And if you have any article that you did, can you please share me your link or something that
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can
absolutely. I'll email you as soon as it's
you
up.
can email me. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. I'll send
Thank
it to
you
you.
so much.
Yeah, thank you so
All
much. I
right.
really appreciate it.
Yeah. Have a good night. Yeah.
You too. Have a
Bye.
good day.